Do I not have audio, Tony? Yeah, I just wasn't talking. I was trying to get the chat to come up. Man, I really gotta focus that camera. I think it's blurry as crap. So I'm printing a... well, actually... I'll show you what I'm printing. There. Printing that vase. .357% scale. Printing with a 1.0 millimeter nozzle that it's actually a 0.4 nozzle that I took and drilled out. Well, sanded the tip off a little bit and then drilled the rest of it out to make it a 1.0 nozzle. Should be done, let's see, what Simplify say? 5 hours, 7 minutes. All but max volume. Hey Mike, how are you? Trying to get this printed up. This is where the entries for the for Martin's 3D printed landscapes are gonna get put at Earth. So I'm trying to get this cranked out quick because we're leaving at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning to head down. And it's currently 12:30 now, so I have less than 12 hours to get this thing printed. Sorry for the blurry CR10 camera. What the hell is that? Okay, gotta look. Okay, so 0.75 millimeter layer height probably is not the best idea. You're at the Taco Bell drive-thru. Actually, Mike, I'll tell you what, the extruder's holding up very well to this print. If anything that didn't work very well is I was printing at a 0.75 layer height. So I'm gonna have to change that, as much as I hate to do it. Actually, what I'm gonna do is, since I have the bottom printed already, I'm gonna try something. Let's see, advance, start printing at 0.75 divided by 2. Oh, what the hell's half of 75? Divided by 2 equals 0.375. So I'm going to change stop 0.375 millimeters. 0.37, that works. Turn off the bottom layers. Okay. There. Okay. Yeah, 37.5, and so 0.75 would be 0.375, which means if support's turned on, no. wonder if that's going to work or if it's just going to crash. We'll find out. So what I'm going to try to do is, since it's screwing up royally on the layers on top of the first layer. Oh, you know what? That's funny. There's the first couple of layers. The layer adhesion on 0.75 at 1 millimeter is not very good. So I'm going to rip that off. I'm going to restart it, but I'm going to skip the 0.375 and do 0 bottom layers. It's either going to crash into the first layer or it's going to work, one or the other. Extrusion width is... I don't know. Hang on. I'll check. Let's see. Extrusion multiplier is 0.96. Maybe that might be an issue. First layer width, I'm doing 100%. You know what? Does Simplify 3D even give me an option for layer width? I guess not. Be right back. Actually work. Might have actually worked. Yeah, I'm not sure, Tony, if Tony Ryan, if the yeah, you're right. It should be like 1.4 if I'm at a 0.6 layer height. I just increased the feed rate as well. Which the second layer, it's already on the second layer now. It seems to be going down pretty good. We'll find out here. Let it get up a couple of layers and see how solid it is. Let me see if I can get you a better angle on that camera too. That actually looks a hell of a lot better. Man, too bad you can't change layer height on the fly. You do 0.6 width with a 0.3 using a 0.3 layer height using a 0.4 nozzle. Yeah, that makes sense. Man, I really need to focus that Raspberry Pi camera, but it's in a case, so I can't just adjust it on the fly right now. But I think it's actually going to work. So what I was trying to do, let me switch cameras. Hey, there's me really big. If you guys remember back when Tessa, Sparky Face 5, did the 3D printed Block Zoo hashtag, this is Vicky's tardigrade printed at like 200 or 300%. And I don't think I have any of the small ones anymore. Nope. So the small one, the full 100% was like this big. So I printed this on my Delta, just screwing around with it. And like, she even integrated or used the Drew Loop technique for the fingertips and stuff. This is what I was gonna print with a slot, basically just not print the top layers, for the prizes or the entries, for people to basically drop their name in a bucket for Earth, for the 3D printed landscapes that Martin's given away. But Simplify 3D, even though it was supposed to be in vase mode, ended up man, it's just amazing. That's already that high. Simplify 3D, for some reason, was doing infill on that. Even though it's supposed to be... This is the one I held up here. This one's printed in vase mode. It's just a single perimeter. And then I changed processes up here towards the top. Actually, what did I? No. That's vase mode all the way to the top. And it printed fine. I mean, top of it looks great. Bottom's glass smooth. You can see the reflection. So this is what I wanted to print full scale on the CR10 and use this for people to drop their names in. And then when we drew, I was just going to flip it over, or well, shake it first, then flip it over, and the first name to fall out was the person who won at that time slot. But unfortunately, Simplify 3D screwed it up, and I don't have time to figure it out. So this is my first time ever printing with a 0.1 or a 1.0 nozzle. So that is printing fantastic. I don't know if the Sapphire nozzle is going to go back on the CR10. That's freaking amazing. I just can't believe the way that's printing. Yeah, so I've got most of my stuff packed up for Earth. Anything I got to do, I got the Flashforge Dreamers over here printing right now, doing the third version of my Derby car. I'm not sure if version 2 or version 3 is going to end up going, but I got to finish painting it and everything. I actually have to paint version 2. I didn't even do that yet. I've got most everything else is loaded up, but the one thing I do need to work on, I gotta make some flyers and stuff for the drawings. So Bad part is I wanted to use the tardigrade because I was going to have it hold the sign. I figured the Drew Loop fingertips would be big enough at that point that I should be able to like slip some paper in it or pin it in there or something, but that's not going to happen. Oh, that 1.0 nozzle is just freaking amazing. Let me see if I can get out of the way. You can see how high it is back there behind me already. And it's only... let's see, that first layer took, I don't know, about 20 minutes. And I'm only 9 minutes in right now. And that's how high it is already. And that's the full freaking build plate on the CR10. Hey Thomas, welcome to the stream. Not really doing anything special, just screwing around. Supposed to be preparing for Earth, which I am preparing for Earth. Oh, you know what? I don't have... Let me fix this. Hang on a second. So, I've got the CR10S right back here behind me printing a vase that's going to be what we put names in, what people drop their names into at Earth for the 3D printed and painted landscapes by 3D Printing Iceland. He's given away... Yeah, Tony, you're right. Fatter first layer really makes that go fast. So Martin, 3D Printed Iceland, is giving away on Saturday 4 3D printed landscapes that he painted of Iceland. Which, for anybody who hasn't seen one, this is what Martin does. Or what he's known for on Facebook. So he 3D printed this on his Prusa. If I remember right, I think it was printed just like this, standing vertical, and then he hand paints it. He's giving away 4 on Saturday throughout the day, and he's giving away 2 more on Sunday to the attendees at Earth. You have to be present to win it, but I mean, just check that out. These things are freaking awesome. And the ones he's bringing, I think he printed on his CR10, so they're bigger. This was printed on his Prusa, and it's the full build width from his Prusa, but I think the ones he's given away are 300 millimeters wide, by like 300 tall or something like that. They're pretty freaking big. So what we're doing is at the Friday night 3D printing booth at Earth, we're going to be 4 times throughout the day Saturday, which we haven't figured out the times. We'll probably end up doing that tomorrow because we're all meeting up for lunch tomorrow. We're going to give away, probably at like maybe 2 or 3 hour intervals, give away, do a drawing on it. So everybody's going to be dropping their name in, yeah, that thing right there, the one printing on the CR10. They're going to be dropping their names in there, and we'll draw names from it. You have to be present to win, because Martin, he's visiting from Iceland, so he really doesn't want to have to ship anything. Hey, Mad Mike, how are you? So we're going to do that 4 times on Saturday and 2 times on Sunday. But then on Sunday, at the end of the event, we also have the giveaways for... let's see, it's going to be one $50 in-store credit for Protopasta and three Matter Hackers build Pro, what is it? Pro Build Series PLA. I guess Pro Series PLA. So we're going to be doing those. Let me double check and see, because I haven't looked at it since last week. Pretty sure that's all the giveaways. Now the other things which I announced on the Friday night hangout, we have 2 spools of printed solid daily PLA that we're giving away. Bear with me just a second here. I'll pull up the details on the contests. This one. So, okay, here's the prizes that F3D PCH is doing at Earth. We have 1 roll of printed solid daily build PLA going to the most creative part voted on by the hosts and co-hosts present at Earth. So the hosts and co-hosts of the F3D PCH streams. We're going to be doing those. Let me get my chat back up here so I can see if you guys are asking questions. Hey, Martin. Cool, you got into your hotel. Yeah, so the most creative part, voted on by the hosts and co-hosts of F3D PCH that are present at Earth, is going to get a roll of the printed solid daily build PLA. Another roll of the daily build PLA is going to go to the most voted on failed part, voted on by the attendees at Earth. One of the $50 store credits to Protopasta is going to go to the person who printed the most parts, which at this point I know who the winner is of that, but we won't announce it until Sunday. Another $50 in-store credit to Protopasta is going to go to the person who has the single heaviest part out of all the parts they printed, if they printed multiple, or just overall the heaviest part. That person's going to get a $50 in-store credit to Protopasta. I bet, man. I can't wait to get down there tomorrow, Martin, to get to meet you guys. I know I'm the one who kind of picked the time of 1 o'clock for lunch, but I can't wait. I've got so much stuff to do, though. Yeah, so the person who has the single heaviest part is going to get a $50 in-store credit to Protopasta. We're going to do 4 of Martin's landscapes on Saturday at different times throughout the day. We're going to do 2 of Martin's landscapes on Sunday. And then there's going to be, on Sunday at the end of Earth, there's going to be 3 rolls of Matter Hackers Pro PLA given out to the general attendance, anybody who drops their name in a bucket. So what we're going to do is, and then there's the $50 store credit for Protopasta to the general attendees. What we're going to do is, on Sunday, everybody's going to have their names in 1 bucket. Or I actually may end up doing a digital form and just having a Chromebook. You type in your name and email address and it puts it into a database. I'm not sure yet. That's probably going to be the way I go, though, because if that thing... God, this is hard. If that thing there doesn't print properly on the CR10, then that may be a digital drawing, too. But the one that's printing right now is for Martin's giveaway. And I got to figure out exactly how we're doing the general attendees giveaways for the different PLAs and store credits and stuff. But so with slicing that at a 0.6 layer height, I didn't look to see what my total build time was going to be. Prepare. Oh, that's still not bad. 5 hours, 45 minutes. And for anybody who's just joining, this is what I'm printing. This is the CR10 build area inside the box here for anybody who's not familiar with Simplify 3D. I'm printing essentially what's going to become a trash can probably in my bathroom. But it's just a simple vase. And you can see here it doesn't have a bottom in it in the sliced version because I already printed the bottom, but at a 0.75 layer height, it wasn't printing very well. The layers weren't adhering to each other. So I stopped the print, ripped off all the 0.75 millimeter layer heights, excluded the bottom layer that was already printed at 0.375 millimeters, and just printed from 0.375 starting and up. So, Martin, I don't know if you were in for the beginning of it or not. I made a 1.0 millimeter nozzle tonight for my CR10. I took the Sapphire 0.6 off and put the 1.0 on so I can crank this thing out in 5 hours and 45 minutes. Roughly 5 hours and 45 minutes. It'll probably be more like 6 or 7 hours, but nonetheless, it's still pretty fast. So, that's, let's see, where are we at this point on the print? We are currently approximately 25 minutes into the print, and it's already that tall. Yeah, it's going to be pretty big, Martin. 400, what is the total height on it? It's going to be just shy of a pound. Which for anybody who catches this later on, 1 pound of filament, and this is including my markup, electric usage, everything, from when I'd normally be selling the prints. 1 pound of filament with the filament that I'm using, it'll cost me $8.05 in plastic and electric to print this. So total $8.05 for this. You can't even go to Walmart and buy a trash can this size for $8. And that's, like I said, that's overshooting. That's what I would charge somebody for a print this big in the form factor that I'm doing it in. So Martin, how was your travels? Hope the flight and everything was good. Picking up Kat at the airport. Thank you very much for picking her up. I'm sure that made it really easy for her. Yeah, that's why I'm not worried about printing vase mode for this thing. I tried to convince Jen to let me bring the Part Daddy vase along to drop names in, but she's afraid of something happening to it. She's afraid, you know, we go to lunch, it's sitting in the truck in the heat. She's worried something's going to happen to it, and I mean, I can't blame her. We have one of the few fully completed Part Daddy vases, so that isn't owned by somebody who either works or worked for Simi CNC. So yeah, don't really want to risk that thing too much. So this is the replacement for it. Yeah, that was awesome that you guys came in within an hour. I'm glad your travels were good. Makes for a more enjoyable trip when the travel to get there is enjoyable. How long was your flight? Six and a half hours? That's not, I mean, that's a long time to sit in a tin can, but that's not too bad. Did you have the flight you take have like a in-flight movie or anything, or did you bring laptop along or phone or tablet or something to keep yourself entertained, or just stare out the window? When I'm the couple of times, handful of times that I've flown, staring out the window is what kept me entertained most of the time. Spotify. Yeah, I guess 6.5 hours would be enough time to take a nap. Longest I've been in a plane's 4 hours. I'm disappointed, Martin. I don't know if you saw this or not. This is what I was originally going to print for the drawing sphere contest. This is Vicky's tardigrade, and maybe once we're down at Earth tomorrow and we're setting up, I may end up trying to get the CR10 to print this. Simplify 3D totally screwed things up and was trying to do infill in vase mode for some reason, and it just ripped things apart. So this would have taken 4.5 hours to print full scale on the CR10. It would be 800, I think it was 829%, and this is 300%. Hey, actually, since you're in the chat, Martin, the landscapes that you're giving away, what's the dimensions on those? Are they 210 by 210, or 210 wide, or were they printed on the CR10 at 300? Actually, I guess it would be more than that because you print those corner to corner. Okay, so the landscapes that Martin's giving away are approximately, don't hold us to this because they may not be exact, but they're approximately 320 by 350 millimeters. That is freaking huge. That is cool. How long do they take to print when you do that, Martin? I'm thinking that's probably a pretty long print, especially if you're printing with a 0.4 and like 0.2 layer height. I'm not sure what layer height you're printing at. I mean, the Prusa, like, you printed this one at a pretty small scale. I mean, that's got to be, heck, that's got to be 0.1 or maybe even 0.05 for that. 45 hours. Holy cow. So you've been planning to give these away at Earth for a little while then. I guess probably almost since you decided you were going. 0.2 layer on all of them. Whew. I want one of those. Can I be eligible to win that? What are you making on your lathe, Tony Ryan? I haven't fired my lathe up in almost a year, my wood lathe. One day I'll do a video on that. One day I'll do a video. But one day I will do a video on the parts that I 3D printed for my wood lathe that I bought for 15 bucks. I wonder if I can... Let's see, can I fix that? Hey, there we go. Now the CR10 looks better, I think. It's kind of yellow. Yeah, put that back. Hey, Sean. Yeah, technically morning. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I really should get to bed. $5 a.m. Yeah, that's true, Martin. You're just getting up at this point. I guess, did you try to get some sleep on the plane to sort of try to adjust to our times? Or just stay awake and listen to Spotify the whole time? Furious Effect. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Still blurry. The Raspberry Pi needs focused. Oh, you did adjust beforehand? That's good. I look tired. It's 1 o'clock in the morning here, so, yeah. Shadows on my eyes are making me look worse, but, just trying to... Really, I'm trying to think of what I'm missing for the Friday night booth. Sean, are you coming for lunch tomorrow? Or, you know what? You don't even know about lunch, do you? I'll send you a DM on Twitter. What time are you coming in town? We're all getting together for lunch around 1 o'clock. Yeah, I bet going back's going to be worse. That's the West Coasters coming out here adjusting to our time. It's hard on them. But, yeah, when you head west, it's not as bad. Sean, when did you talk to Chris about being there at 1 o'clock? Because I know Ron, Print It, Blast It, Build It, Blast It, whatever his whole handle is, Uncle Ron. I know he originally said the same thing, but then Chris said, go ahead, go grab lunch. Yeah, that print is cruising. Let's see, it's about an inch tall at this point. About 40 minutes in. And we are at... Let's see. I gotta give Octoprint a chance to catch up here. Currently at a layer height of 29 millimeters. In just over 40 minutes. And the overall diameter of this thing is 290 millimeters by 287 millimeters on the Y, 374 millimeters tall. Okay, I'll send you the information, Sean, here in a couple minutes. Hey, Cyber Dustin, are you coming to Earth? Actually, Tony Ryan, are you coming to Earth? I'm not sure where you're from. Oh, okay, Mike's in town already? Cool. Midnight Giant, his name's Mike. Next year, Dustin. Tony Ryan, what about you? Are you coming to Earth? I'm not sure if that's nearby for you or not. I put my hat back on. My forehead's too white. So some of the other things we're going to be trying to do at Earth is I'm going to try to stream the community build to YouTube. All the streaming's all going to depend on internet quality. Tomorrow, once we get in and people are starting to set up, probably towards like, I don't know, 6 o'clock, something like that, because we're allowed in the door at 4 o'clock to set up for vendors and sponsors. They're not vendors, exhibitors and sponsors. We're allowed to set up at start setting up at 4 o'clock. So we're all getting together at 1 o'clock for lunch, and then Pooch, and I guess Pooch and Travis and my wife and kids and I are all going to Home Depot to buy a bunch of hardware, and then we'll be heading over to the arena closer to 4 o'clock. I'm gonna try probably around like maybe 6:30, something like that. I'm gonna try to get on and stream and do like a pre-show walk around. Hopefully at that point most of the guys are all set up and ready to go. But we're gonna attempt to live stream on Saturday the build of the community build. We're gonna try. They're telling us that the stream or the internet is pretty capable at the, what is it, Aberdeen Proving Grounds Federal Credit Union Arena. And if people think F3D PCH is hard to say, yeah, that's a lot harder. They're saying the internet's pretty good and pretty stable there, so we'll see. I'm hoping I can at least get my CR10 or my Raspberry Pi that runs Octoprint and the CR10 online while we're there tomorrow, so that I can start a print and be able to watch it overnight to keep an eye on it, cancel it if needed. But I don't know. I may end up taking my own router down just to be able to run Octoprint on the Pi. Yeah, that was actually pretty cool, Martin. I didn't get to catch it while you were live. I saw it after the fact. But yeah, the idea of doing your stream little short snippets on Twitter is a pretty good idea. Not a lot of people, I think, are going to be doing that. A lot of people are either going to focus on YouTube, or if they do Twitch, maybe on Twitch, which I'm not sure how many people are actually doing Twitch right now for 3D printing. You want to see a roundtable style stream, so you want to see like the Friday night stream at Earth. I don't know how we're going to do that. What I was actually kind of debating doing is setting a stream up so that you can see the build, but then I'm going to take my microphone down, and what I was thinking is letting people kind of come on. Obviously I got to control it a little bit because it's my channel, but letting people come on the stream and talk to the chat. So have the laptop there with the screen facing out and make it so that everybody can kind of chat with everybody, because the Friday night booth is sort of a hangout booth for all the co-hosts. Anybody who's hosted or co-hosted on the streams is going to be able to come and sort of just hang out at my booth. That's the whole point. I mean, it's all about the community. It's all about the hosts and co-hosts of the stream. If it wasn't for all them, it wouldn't be where it is right now. So I don't know that we're going to have a round table type deal. I know Country 3D is, I think he's going to be trying to interview some people in person while he's there. In all honesty, with the community build, I'm not going to have time, at least the first half of the day. I have no idea how long this community build's going to take to put together. But I won't have the time for a while, at least, to be able to do it. Yeah, Martin's gonna be at the Friday night booth as well. I mean, we'll all be wandering around. I'm sure at times I'm probably gonna take a break from putting the community build together and go dop around, get to talk to everybody and stuff. But yeah, Martin's gonna be hanging out there. I know Walter said he's going to come over from time to time. Ryan from Geek Tech's going to come over. It's sort of just a hangout spot. I mean, it's a place for us to kind of, for the people who host or co-host that aren't exhibiting, so they don't have a table, they can come hang out, stash some stuff back there, probably after the community build's done, if they need to. I think our space is either 8 foot by 8 foot or 10 foot by 10 foot, I'm not sure. But we'll see. I mean, I'm trying not to make any solid plans because, again, we don't know what the internet's going to be like. We could get there Saturday and the internet's totally toasted. May or may not. I don't know. That's how Murph kind of was. The reason you didn't see a lot from people at Murph was because the internet just absolutely sucked. But you're also in a small town, whereas Aberdeen's quite a bit bigger of a place. This is a sports complex, so, you know, they're used to having thousands of people there. So they should be able to handle it, but we'll see. I may do the same thing, Martin. So I'm going to have, if I can, I'm going to have on Saturday the stream going from the table. Honestly, I was going to stream the live build and just kind of let it roll. But then what I was kind of thinking about doing is, if I can figure out a way to, I may do like a hangout style stream so that I can then join it from my cell phone and go mobile throughout the place and show things off. But then have the always on camera at the F3D PCH booth. So we'll see. It's hard to tell exactly how things are going to go yet. All I know is they're going to be fun. Getting to meet everybody, or the people that we've already met before, getting to see them again, and just getting to hang out and talk. A lot of it, it's all about 3D printing, but a lot of it's going to be about social too. Just getting to meet everybody, like Martin being there. I mean, if you got the opportunity, now's the chance to get to meet Martin. I don't think he's planning on coming to the States for New York Maker Faire, or Bay Area Maker Faire, or Murph just yet. Maybe Murph next year, right, Martin? You are planning for Murph? Cool. Can you... I wonder if YouTube will let me do 2 live streams at the same time. So I can have the always on camera. Actually, you know what? I guess let's find out. We'll make this a test for Earth. I did say I'm preparing, right? And I haven't done anything more than sit here and watch the CR10 scream along at printing this thing. I could probably up the speed on that too. That is freaking awesome. It's already 1.5 inches tall. So let's see. YouTube. Murph's definitely an event to be at. I think this year, Jen and I, New York Maker Faire, I think, we're not sure exactly how that's going to play out. Our plan is to be there, but taking the kids along, having a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old is, I mean, it's cool having them, and I want to involve them in 3D printing and in the community and stuff, but at the same time, it's sort of tough to keep their attention span right now, and I don't want to force them into it. So it gets a little bit tough to bring them along to the events and still be able to enjoy ourselves as adults too. So New York Maker Faire, we're talking, there's a chance my mother-in-law may come along with us. So like at night, the meetups and stuff, we'll be able to actually go to the meetups at the bar, because I mean that's where like Matter Hackers and whoever else sponsors these events, that's where they have them. So yeah, it can be kind of hard to do it. So my mother-in-law may come along to New York Maker Faire, which would be awesome. That way she's not really planning to go, you know, to these meetups and stuff and go to the bar and everything. And not saying we're going to the bar to drink or anything, but she can hang out back at the hotel later in the evening with the kids, so we can kind of go out and enjoy ourselves. That may be what we do for New York, because I really would like for my daughters to go to New York, to the Maker Faire again. But when it comes to Murph next year, if we end up going, which if Martin's going, there's a good chance that we're gonna go. We'll probably find a sitter for the weekend for the kids and just go Jen and I, so that we can enjoy the after party and stuff. So, okay. Apparently I can't talk and multitask at the same time. Alright, so starting the second live stream. That's a stupid ass picture. You know what, let's edit that. Retake. Yeah, that didn't work either. Retake. So let's see what you guys are seeing. It's showing me 7 people are watching, and I have 1 thumb up, which is for the normal stream. Yeah, 3D printing definitely was a small part of Maker Faire, which is kind of the benefit. You know, Maker Faire is all about everything, and sorry for anybody who's watching the other stream and seeing my keyboard. It's kind of dull. Maker Faire is just about the general, you know, general maker environment, or community. That's interesting. So that says I'm streaming. Okay, so you switch streams. Why don't I see that? I guess because I can't really subscribe to myself, and if I switch, that's going to screw it up. So you guys can see 2 streams. Awesome. Okay, so for those of you who switched to the stream that's showing my keyboard right now, I'm going to end that since we know it works. That's really good to know for Earth. So if you're watching the stream with my keyboard, switch back to the other stream. I'm going to end this one. That's pretty cool. The fact that I can stream from 2 different devices and have 2 different live streams going on my channel at the same time is freaking great. Yeah, so New York Maker Faire is, any of the Maker Fairs are all about making. So, I mean, everybody who makes. You've got artists, you've got 3D printers, you've got electronics guys, you've got video guys, you've got science experiments. I mean, it's endless. I mean, Maker Faire is just, it's exactly what they call it. It's the world's largest show and tell, for sure, which is awesome. I would definitely recommend people get to get to a Maker Faire if there's one near you. Even if it's a mini Maker Faire, the mini ones are pretty cool too. Or the next county over for me, Lancaster, PA, has they haven't done it now in 2 years, but they had a thing called Maker Fest, which is actually the first place that I got introduced to 3D printing, and where I got introduced to Matt Gordon from Printed Solid, and that's been a great great relationship, great acquaintance to make. Sorry, I can't freaking talk. Was meeting Matt and getting to know him, because here I am now. It was a year after that I bought a printer. So Murph and Earth are 100% 3D printing. I mean, that's everything about it. Don't cross the streams. Yeah, it was kind of interesting about that. So I was streaming 2 different places, or 2 different streams, but I saw the 2 different I saw the same chat in both of them. So that's kind of cool. That might be useful for Earth. It's all done and working well. Did you use the pre-sliced G-code or slice your own part from the STL? Tony Ryan, if you're asking me that, I sliced the G-code for this one. This vase is scaled up a lot bigger than what the Thingiverse file for the STL had. Check the community Twitter DM. Let me see. That is cool. That's really neat that I can do that. I'm going to be doing that at Earth if the internet allows me to. So what I'm going to do, that totally changes my plan altogether. I'm going to, if the internet allows, that's the only key, I'm going to live stream the community build and then just leave the camera continuously rolling at the F3D PCH booth, so you'll get to see everybody coming by and stuff. But then I'm also going to, throughout the weekend, I will live stream as I'm walking around, for sure, if the internet allows. Thanks, Thomas. Let's see, it's 1:20 in the morning. I really should make up some stuff to print so that I can print it now and not have to worry about it tomorrow. So, over to Google Drive. Oh, that is so freaking cool. I don't know if I'm putting the sapphire nozzle back on that printer. Oh, that is awesome. I thought the Raspberry Pi was fixed focus. Not fixed focus, but manual focus. Sorry. Sorry. Reading a separate chat. Yeah, good night, Martin. Go get some rest. Try to get more adjusted to our time. Good news is, you know, in the morning at least you get to sleep in for a little bit or go. There's not a lot to do down in Aberdeen, but I'm sure you can find something to do down there. But I will see you around 1 o'clock tomorrow. That is cool. So everything is working pretty freaking well tonight. The CR10's printing that vase incredibly fast. That is just so wild. This is the first time I printed with a 1.0 nozzle, and that is freaking awesome. Depending on the quality of that, the layer line quality, I may end up having to start printing my helmets with a 1.0 nozzle in it and say screw the Sapphire. Maybe if somebody talks really nice to me at Earth, they might be able to buy my Sapphire nozzle from me. I am not getting anything done staring at that thing printing. Okay, so let's see. I need to make up some flyers. So, next week, Friday, it'll be Friday, June 29th. Martin is hosting the Friday Night Hangouts. Yeah, sorry, my lighting back there on the print kind of sucks. I don't know why it's showing it so dark. I tried adjusting the brightness. Oh, you know what? Bam. Do that. HTML. There you go, that looks a little bit better. Tiny little bit. White balance is crap back there, though. That's I gotta, at some point I'm gonna have to get a new camera back there. But yeah, so next Friday, June 29th, 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Martin is hosting the Friday Night Hangouts. We're gonna do a recap on Earth. To follow up from the pre-Earth stream that we did last week. So if you're around Friday night and you want to catch that, we'll be there. Yeah, Mike, it's really moving up there pretty fast. Can you hear my... Oh, yeah. Tony, you can't hear me because you're in your shop. I gotcha. Yeah, did they release a price on that yet, Chris? For the, is it CRX or is it the CR10 with dual extrusion? Or are they actually calling it the CRX? And is it side-by-side nozzles, or are they doing something special? Because if it's side-by-side, that's a pain in the ass. That doesn't sound good. I hope somebody's at Earth selling really cheap filament, because I plan on having the CR10 running down there. And if it's cranking out vases every 5 hours, I'm going to be printing a lot. Uh-oh. Hang on, I'll be right back. Something's clicking back here. Oh, dual extrusion single nozzle. That's a little bit better than two nozzles. see, Mike. Hang on a second. I'll tell you how tall it is. It is currently at... You guys are really distracting. Yep, you're right. 53 millimeters at this point in an hour. And I did slow it down. It's supposed to be printing at 60 millimeters a second. And I have it slowed down by 84%, or to 84%. Hey, Ashley. Yeah, I think if I'm gonna put a Cyclone or Cyclops on one of my printers, it would most likely. I mean, what's a Cyclops cost? It's like 120, 140 bucks, something like that. I think for the full setup. There, we're going to see how fast it goes now, because I just increased the CR10 back to 100%. I had scaled it down a little bit because I was concerned that it was going to cause me some issues, but I think it'll be alright. It's already up to 55. That is funny watching the layer height on Octoprint just keep climbing. The clicking is as it's going in and completing those hexagons, and it's starting to do the internal fill. For some reason it's just catching a little bit, or not the internal fill, but it's stepping back into the print. It's clicking for a little bit. I'm not sure why exactly it's doing that. Nothing's actually raising or separating. Might have been over extruding a little bit. I had the extrusion multiplier set up to 104%, or well, yeah, extrusion multiplier was set up to 104. So when you're looking at it, the tops of some of the parts have like a little bit of a raised bump in them. Yeah, Ashley, the print is a vase. It'll actually, if it comes out well and works out, holds up and everything, it'll probably become our bathroom trash can. Let me switch over here and I'll show you my screen. Right here. So this is what I'm printing. This is the CR10S. So this thing is 374 millimeters tall. I'm going to be using it for the drawing at Earth for Martin's 3D printed and painted landscapes for bigger versions of this. So Martin 3D printed Iceland, or 3D printing Iceland. This is primarily what he does. He prints these landscapes and paints them himself of Iceland. He's giving away 6 of them total at Earth, 4 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. Yeah, it's more like a bucket. Which is funny because I was originally going to just go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy a bucket and put a slit in the top of the lid. Oh, okay, good. You have seen Martin's stuff. Yeah, those landscapes are amazing. I'm curious, Chris, you were concerned about my extruder stepper. Tell you what, that extruder stepper's no warmer now than it normally is when I'm printing slower. That freaking filament spool's back there just spinning around. You want to win my blue bucket? Tony Ryan, if you pay for the shipping and just cost a filament, I'll send you a bucket this big. Uh-oh. I might have to slow that back down. Too much popping and clicking and carrying on back there from it catching on the print. Let's see. Alright, I'm going to turn the flow rate down to 95% and the feed rate down to 92. So slow it down a little bit and make it extrude a little bit less. Because you can see there's a shift in the layers there, or else that layer's separated. Sorry, I've got packaging material all over my office from all these parts for the community build. So every time I get up and walk, I'm stepping on bubble wrap that's behind me. So the cracks that we're seeing in there is layer adhesion. They're not shifting, it's actually starting to peel apart on almost every one of the hexagons. That sucks. So the question is, do I let it go or do I try to fix it? What do you guys think? Add some heat. Good point, so it just kind of like coasts over the screw-ups. Ooh. Yeah, it's sounding worse and worse. I'm going to crank it up to 230 and let it keep going. I don't think it's printing too fast. I think so. Ashley, I'm printing this with a 1mm nozzle. Normally what you see everybody printing with is a 0.4 or a 0.6 in most cases. I'm printing with a 1.0mm nozzle. So it's printing super fast. This vase has only been printing for just over an hour, and it's already at 16% complete, and layer height is 62mm high already. So I'm printing, it is printing fast, but it's printing fast because it's putting down a lot of plastic really quickly. I don't know that it's not melting the plastic well enough, Chris, because it's not under extrusion. It's that, you know, probably 10 or 15 layers down, it started separating. The adhesion wasn't... Oh, wait, yeah, I get what you're saying. Hang on. Let's see. Control. I don't want to slow it way down. We'll see if it can recover. If it can, I can always glue those back. Actually, the first layer looks freaking awesome. It's, for some reason, it's about 50 millimeters up that it started to separate. And it's only there, too. The rest of the print is solid. But it's on every one of those hexagons the whole way around. Let me double check the Simplify 3D profile real quick. Yeah, I know. I should have let the settings go. That was the problem. No, I don't think Simplify screwed it up. Crud. Hold on, Chris. I can fix that. It's only 2 o'clock in the morning. Hang on. I'll do you one better, Chris. Have you had any of this? You know what? Do. This stuff's actually pretty cool. It tastes like Mountain Dew. Although, damn, I'll tell you what, that's hazy enough it almost looks like it was frozen. It's that damn cold. This is actually pretty cool stuff. It's hard to find around here so far, but good stuff. Okay, so it recovered, but I have it cranked up to 230 degrees. I gotta back that off. That's way too hot. I'm gonna go back down to 215. It stopped clicking though. Sorry, Tony Ryan. Yeah, sorry. I forgot what my shortcuts were set up as. Oh, it's just control and number pad. I was thinking it was control shift. Okay. Here, how's this, Tony Ryan? Is this better? So if I go... See? No more fading window shifts. Ew, I went to hell. Thanks a lot, Chris. You told me to slow it down. Okay, so that went to absolute garbage. I ran the temperature up way too hot. Yeah, you're right, Chris, but that's no fun. It's a 3D printing event. But that's a 3D printing disaster right there. So what I'm going to end up doing, you guys probably already have an idea what to do. I don't know about that. I'm running inland filament for this one. But for Ashley S., I know she doesn't have a printer yet, so she doesn't get to have these fun joys of 3D printing. But Ashley, right where the layer separated on the print, what looks like a layer shift, what I'm going to end up doing is the rest of that from there down is solid and looks good. So I'm going to stop this print, take it off the bed, and I'll separate it right there on that layer line. I'll just take my pocket knife right through there and slice it off and make a little dish out of it or something. Ooh, that's not a good idea. Oh, okay, good. Okay, hang on. Well, if I knew it was going to do that, it wouldn't have been a total loss. How's that? Okay. Let's try something different. Yeah, that didn't work. That is inland PLA, and in all honesty, part of that's probably my fault because that inland has been out in the open for a little while. Alright, so I gotta reslice that because that one started with a raised layer height. So let's go prepare to print. Oh, actually, let's change some settings here. I think one of the things I'm going to do is I'm actually going to back off the part cooling. Because that may have been what was causing it to cool down and separate. Nah, the problem with 30 millimeters a second is it's going to take way too long to print, and it won't be done by the time I'm leaving tomorrow to go down to Earth. Oh, don't blame Ashley. Chris, rule number 101 from practical printing is not a fun rule. Yeah, I actually never ate dinner yet. Guess at this point it's going to be breakfast because it's 2 a.m. Let's see. Do I really want to tweak much? I think I'm going to back the fan speed down. I'm just going to go 75% fan speed. It was at 100%. So that was 60 millimeters a second, 0.6 layer height. Perimeters. Oh, I gotta turn bottom layers back on. Do one bottom. Let's just see if I back that down to 0.5. Let's see how long that's gonna take. Prepare to print. Print. 7 hours and 8 minutes. Yeah, it's not gonna work. So, back to 0.6 layer height. See you, Chris. Thanks for coming in, hanging out while I figure out how to use a 1.0 nozzle. There we go. Some of the background noise should have just went away because my Flash Forge just shut off. $215. I'm going to increase that just a little bit to help with layer adhesion. Put it up to 220. Okay, let's see what this does. Prepare. Okay. 5 hours, 59 minutes. Save. Oddly enough, before the stream I called this a trash can. Trash can. Well, it's interesting. Simplify 3D tells me the trash can's going to cost $8. Octoprint tells me it's going to cost $21.55 in plastic. Although, until I get it successfully printed, it might. Hey, I have a gift card laying here somewhere on my desk for Taco Bell. Oh, I get what you mean, Tony Ryan. I'll have to do it on the fly because now I already have it told to start printing. Okay, here we go. Attempt number 2. Man, Mike, you might be right. Octoprint saying, yep, this isn't gonna work. Yeah, I don't think... Is Taco Bell still open to 2 a.m.? Oh, even if I wasn't drinking a beer, I wouldn't make it anyhow. Something not sticking. Oh yeah, hell, you're right. Oh shit, you know what I did? I'm a dummy. I forgot to take out the start at 0.375 millimeters. Duh. Dummy. Thanks, Tony. I wasn't actually looking at it. See, this is the cool part about having people watch while you're screwing up your prints. $3 a.m. I like the chat. Tony Ryan says something not sticking. Mad Mike says, look at the printer. And Ashley says, oh no, it's not sticking. Thanks, guys. Thanks for looking out for my prints. Okay, restarting. Print. Look at that. Look how big and fat that line is that it's putting down. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having my back. Yeah, you literally had my back there for a second. See, now I feel like I gotta watch the stream just to see if my prayer's screwing up. What the hell is that big cluster back there? I'm curious of something. So the first layer is printing at 50% height, so it's a 0.3 layer height. The extrusion width currently is 3 millimeters. Or roughly 3, it might be slightly less. That was fat bottom, Dustin, not fat lines. That 1 millimeter nozzle is going to be cool if I could figure out how to dial it in. If I wouldn't be rushing. If I'd be printing slow, it wouldn't be a problem, most likely. But look at that. Look how quick that thing's infilling. It'd be really cool if I can get this dialed in, because I can get down to earth. Some of the inland filament that I've been having problems with, I'd run through this, because I shouldn't have a problem with under extrusion on that crap. The new inland, which they say is PLA++, I keep calling it PLA-. Ain't that impressive, Mike? It's hard to... I haven't even started typing up my flyers that I need to type. It's hard to not sit here and watch this. I'm so disappointed that didn't stick together. It wasn't as strong as it looked. Cool part is, actually, it's on that infill. I can speed it up right now. Watch this. You want to see it go fast? Yeah, you can do your small prints in a few minutes, but no quality to them. I have a 0.8 on my Castle, my Delta, that I just put on there a couple weeks ago. Before that, the biggest I had run was a 0.75, which, I mean, there's not a huge difference between those two, but... yeah, depending on how much detail you're doing, the bigger nozzles are good. I mean, like something like this vase, there's not a lot of detail to it, so using a fatter nozzle makes it go a heck of a lot faster. Hold my beer. Yeah, see, like printer parts, you probably don't want a 1.0 nozzle. You could probably dial it in, and depending on what you're doing, like if you're doing an effector or something for a Delta, it probably would be okay. But if you're doing like extruder mounts and stuff, a 1.0 nozzle is probably going to be way too much for you. But you could, I mean, printing printer parts, you could step up to like a 0.6, which doesn't sound like a huge step up, but it does increase your print speed. Decrease your print speed. Print time, sorry. Increases your print speed, decreases your print time. The cool part about it is everybody talks about the CR10 being a loud printer. When you speed it up, like right now it's running about 90 millimeters a second. The thing sits back there, yeah, you can hear it whining, but it's not annoying. It's just like a constant whistle. Okay, Google Drive. Giveaway flyers. So let's see, I need to have that open. I need to have, oh come on, freaking snap to the side. Yeah, I bet my vape probably is louder. Hey, my camera batteries are charged. Yay! Means I can charge my phone for my drone. .8's pretty good too, Tony. The .8 nozzle prints good quality, still pretty fast, and even Mike, if you haven't tried to print it, .8, you could probably give one a try. I mean, heck, for a pack of multi-size nozzles on Amazon, they're cheap. I think I paid $12, and I just took one of the .4s and drilled it out to a .1. But give it a try. I mean, if you dial it in, you'll get the part accuracy. If you're not, if layer lines, I mean printer parts, layer lines aren't an issue. So practical things, you could get away with it if you get the dimensional accuracy dialed in. Yeah, this is a brass nozzle. Now I do, normally my CR10 Ashley is running a sapphire nozzle. When I say normally, it's been running it for like the last month, roughly. So that I can print whatever. And honestly, even if you're going to print, you know, like carbon fibers and I have Weed Whacker trimmer line, which is nylon with fiberglass reinforcement. That will chew up a brass nozzle, but when you get your printer, just get hardened nozzles. The sapphire is sort of more of just saying, my printer's got a sapphire nozzle on it. Doesn't really get you a lot extra. And you can buy a sapphire nozzle, I think, from Printed Solid was, how much was it? Like 80, I think it was like $75, but I got a discount because I bought it in store. Like I was at Printed Solid and bought it. That's actually, Ashley, that's where the 1.75 filament came from. The desktop 3D printers, people were using Weed Whacker trimmer line as the early forms of filament for them, because it was cheap and easy to get to. Yeah, it's actually a real genuine sapphire stone. But oddly enough, I found out that sapphire in small quantities isn't always blue. Like, 'cause my birthstone, I was born in September, my birthstone's sapphire, and I always recall sapphire being a deep blue, and it's not. That could very well be, Mike. Oh, so you can get sapphire in every collar? I didn't know that. Ooh, 2 o'clock in the morning, getting tired. New document. Damn it. Trying to keep the chat up here so it's right beside the document I'm typing, but it keeps freaking disappearing. So when you're running a water jet and you get a ruby, you get a nozzle, it's a 0.4 ruby. I guess that makes sense because I mean, like brass, you're cutting brass and stainless with high pressure water, so if you're using a brass nozzle, it's just going to chew right through it. Huh. I did not know that. I thought sapphire was blue. Like, until I got this nozzle, I thought sapphire was blue. This is more of a clear. Now, I mean, the thing's pretty small. The stone's maybe 2 millimeters wide at the tip of the nozzle. So it's sort of hard to see it. But it looked clear. So it makes sense now. Enter to win. One spool, or yeah, one $50 proto pasta. Does proto pasta have a dash in it in between proto and pasta? Well, that's cool, Ashley. Well, Mike, if your wife's birthstone is sapphire, then I bet she was born in September too. That's really cool. Oh, your wife's 2 years older than I am, Mike. I gotta look and see what information I need from people entering to win the Matter Hacker stuff. So how, okay, so I know from Country's Discord that Mike and Ashley, you guys know each other. How close are you to each other? Like, are you related or live close by each other, or how? What's the relation there? Really? Is that right? That's pretty cool. That's neat how the community sort of reaches out even closer. But you're in like the, aren't you? Oh, okay. Mike, you're in Tennessee. Ashley's in Alabama. Gotcha. That's cool. That's the cool thing about the community. So do you guys watch the Friday night hangouts, the F3D PCH hangouts? Hey, Eddie. Sounds like a country song. It's alright, I'm good with country. Ashley, I think, Ashley, you jumped in the hangouts. 4 of them. Cool. I don't know. I don't know yet this weekend what I'm going to do. If I'm going to stream the community build from the Hangouts channel, or if I'm just going to stream it from my own. I may just stream it from my own because it keeps things simpler for me. But there's a chance that we're going to start putting some content on the F3D PCH stream, channel, sorry. That or I'll do a simulcast where somebody's hosting it, but we also throw it on that channel and say, hey, if you want to be included in the chat, go over to this person's channel to catch the stream. You watched 4 and chatted on 2. You gotta chat more. That's cool. Getting on the topic of the streams, you guys meeting online and creating a friendship. I mean, that's, most of us going to Earth, that's exactly what this was. It was an online friendship between a bunch of us, and now we all get to go hang out together. Yeah, sometimes we actually talk about something and teach something. Sometimes, not always. Where is my email? There it is. What information do I need? Email, address, and phone number. Name, email, address, and phone number. Okay. Your name. Email. Address. And phone number. So what do you guys think? Should I have everybody write their names and phone numbers and stuff? Am I sending you something, Eddie? What do you mean? That's weird. Sitting here from this angle, I look back at the CR10 and it looks like the corner opposite of the home corner is peeling up, but it's just because I'm looking through the glass. Oh, no, Eddie, I'm I'm sorry. For anybody watching the stream, I'm not asking for your name, email, and address and phone number. I'm working on the flyers, the signs for Earth, for the giveaways. So do you guys think for the giveaways for the Matter Hackers PLA, for the 3 spools of Matter Hackers Pro Series PLA, and the Protopasta $50 in-store credit, do you think I should just have them do a form on a Chromebook or something sitting there at the table? Or do you think I should have them write their name on a piece of paper and give it to one of us to put in the drawing? And I cannot spell at 2 o'clock in the morning. I probably shouldn't be doing this. That's kind of what I was thinking. Just do a Google form, have a Chromebook sitting there that they can fill it in. Because I've got, between my wife, my daughter, and me, we've got 4 different Chromebooks, so. And then Martin's, we're going to have them write their name on a piece of paper, because you have to be present to win Martin's. He'll be hand delivering them to you at Earth. So there, we're just going to have drop your name in a bucket. Eddie, I'm drinking Not Your Father's Mountain Ale, which is a Mountain Dew flavor craft soda, beer, alcoholic soda. So, yeah, I'm not sure if it actually has caffeine in it or not. It doesn't say. So I'm assuming it probably doesn't if it doesn't say. Did you guys see this? This side's a little bit better. This is the community ketchup bottle that I modeled and 3D printed for Pooch and Travis. Paint job on it's pretty rough yet. I gotta clean that up, but this is their logo that I did for their stream. Which, if you haven't seen that, subscribe to Apyro Design on Twitter or on YouTube. And it's the same Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Tuesday. Tuesday, I think it is. It's the same week as the Friday night hangouts. I can do that, Eddie. If you want to attempt to multicolor print this thing, I can send you it. The only thing I can tell you is, let me show you a close-up. Control 4. This might be the right one. I don't know. Nope, wrong one. There you go. So, if you look, like the 2018 on this side came out pretty well, but established, you really can't read. Sorry, autofocus is going nuts. You really can't read that part. The 300 ml dash 3D Pink Mafia, you can't read. It's too small, and this is full size. I mean, you can see the size of my hand. It's a big, huge freaking bottle, but the font that Travis used, this matches the exact font, and it doesn't print very well. At some point, I'm gonna fix that, which is the reason why I haven't released the CAD files for it yet. So that's almost there. I'm going to slow this back down a little bit. Okay, so on the trash can, vase, whatever you want to call it, that I've got printing back here, I'm currently printing at 220 degrees instead of 215 from the first one that I did. So we'll see, once this first layer finishes, how that looks when it starts doing the perimeters. Yeah, if you're okay with waiting, I would wait. I mean, if you're in a rush, I can do it. I can release the files for it, for the CAD version of it, but like I said, some of the text doesn't show up. I gotta do some tweaking there. I just wanted to get something up. I actually modeled that during the last stream. I had it done being modeled, I just didn't colorize it in Fusion. No, actually, the top doesn't come off. Actually, you know what, Eddie? The way I modeled it, currently the STLs aren't broken. Or broken up. Dustin, you said about the needing red filament. That's actually the only successful print that I got with that red inland that I have. It could, Ashley. It's completely hollow. It's printed in with 2 perimeters, I think. But otherwise, it's completely hollow. 0 infill. What is it doing? See, this is what Simplify 3D did earlier. Oh, it was just filling in some holes. Never mind. It's not what it was doing earlier. Well, alright. So far, so good. Let's see how fast this one grows. First layer time. It's not exact. First layer was 28 minutes. So, in the next half hour, I should be up to about 60, almost 70 millimeters in the next 30 minutes. Yeah, no, 30 minutes. Hell, if I was doing 0.4, I think probably won't even be a quarter of the way across yet, as big as that is. Yeah, Sean, I should be sleeping. 2:30. I mean, I only have an hour drive. We're going to be leaving about 11 o'clock to head down. So I have just over an hour to get to Earth. Yeah, Dustin, to your comment about inland, I'm in the same boat. Unfortunately, I'm really sort of upset about that, but they changed their filament and it went to crap. Yeah, I don't have near the drive any of you guys had or travel times. I think Chris is the only one that's closer than I am. Yeah, so the deal with inland, talking to Samantha Snyder, I think her name is, or something. The girl who's in charge of basically everything 3D printing from Micro Center. They changed their filament from PLA to PLA++. They changed vendors. And the PLA++ is... I used to print inland, their original, the PLA, that supposedly was made by eSun. I used to print that at 200, hell, I could even drop to 195 depending on which printer I was printing on. But 200 to like 210, that was the range I printed in all the time. And they switched now to this PLA++. It's supposed to be better. It's supposed to be able to help keep up with their supply and demand. And the problem is, you have to, the minimum that I can print it on any of my printers is 235 degrees Celsius. problem with that is, you know, that's already pushing the upper limits of what the CR10 is supposed to be capable of. And furthermore, it's pushing the limits of what the printers they sell at Micro Center are capable of out of the box. And if you print less than that, it prints like crap. I have some parts that I can't show right now, but I'll show after this weekend that I was printing for somebody. After this weekend, I'll be able to show it off. It looks like absolute garbage. Under extrusion like crazy, just crap. Maker family coupon code, 15% off. What's Zealtech? You know what? Uncle Jesse uses Zealtech and he's really happy with it. And I've been thinking about it. What are you seeing, Ashley? I'm not seeing it. What the hell is that? You're right. I think that thing's separating again. Hang on. I'm not going to end up having this printed. If you see the live stream and there's a Lowe's or Home Depot bucket on the table, that's the drawing bucket. Whoa. Wait a second. I think I just figured out my problem. Where's my calipers? Calipers. Where are my calipers? There. Wait. How in the hip? Okay, hang on, let me bring the chat back up so I can see y'all. No, the filament's not too rigid. So apparently, Eddie, you remember when Country built your Tevo Tornado and he found out that the nozzle opened up to like 1.0 and he was trying to print at 0.4? I'm currently extruding at 1.78. So regular PLA opened that 1.0 up to 1.7, 1.76. Look at that. Hang on a second. Okay, where is a piece of regular filament? Okay, so let me bring my camera up so I can see y'all, or I can see myself actually. Okay, so this is a piece of filament, alright, unextruded filament. This is what my 1.0 nozzle is extruding right now. They're almost exactly the same size. So that's why it's printing like crap, and all of a sudden went to crap and started cracking on me. So now I wonder printing 1.75, which means the tip of the nozzle wore off where I drilled it out at, which makes sense. I mean, that's fully possible. That's why you buy a 1.0 nozzle and you don't just drill it out. But let's see how Simplify 3D reacts to a 1.75 nozzle. Yeah, I'm definitely going to try it at 1.75 mic. How is that? So at 1.0 it was... Oh wait. you can actually print, I think, is it 1.8 or 2.0 with a 1.75 filament and the right hot end. This ain't the right hot end. But now I'm just curious what it's going to do. Hey, I can make my own Filablend. So let's see, 1.75. So let's go with a layer height of 1.2. This is going to end horribly. You guys realize that, right? I have a feeling I'm going to have to increase temperature. So right now we were at 220. Let's go 230 again on it. Yeah, hell yeah, let's let it go and see what it does. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. 3 hours and 10 minutes. That's probably going to need to be slowed down. I'm going to call this, instead of trash can, I'm going to call this stupid idea. Or I could call it, hey guys, watch this. I wonder if E3D will have some 1.0 nozzles. Maybe I can get one from them on Friday and have this thing just print overnight on Friday. We'll find out. It's heating up right now, 228. I definitely want that hotter bed. I probably should have turned part cooling off altogether. Yeah, it's only Tom and filament. I mean, it's cheap filament nonetheless. That'd be cool, Sean. I found out tonight I can stream 2 different streams at the same time. Okay, here we go. Are you looking at me or the printer? There's the printer. Holy crap. I know that's blurry as crap for you guys, but it's actually laying down filament. Man, I thought a 1.0 nozzle was good. Oh, it sounds like hell. It's back there crunching and clanking and carrying on. Alright, I'm gonna go get a better look at that. Yeah, there's no back pressure, Mike. Blue frosting. Yeah, so the first couple of rows there look like crap. That was at 60 millimeters a second. I had to slow it down to, at the moment I got it at 50%. So it's at about 30 millimeters a second, roughly. So let's do the calculation in Simplify 3D. What does, if I change it to 30%, what was happening is the extruder was just sitting there just skipping by. So at 30 millimeters a second, I'm still at 6 hours. Which is going to put me at like 10:30. Crap. I think we're taking names in a bucket. Oh wait, 6 hours. That'd be 8:30, 9:30. Or 9 o'clock, something like that. It can't really get any bigger than 1.75, can it? Okay, so if I go 40 millimeters a second, that gives me 4 hours and 46 minutes. So let's do that. So we're going to save that out. Drop it into... Drop it into Octoprint. Let's cancel this one. It's actually printing pretty good. I want to, Mike, I'm going to stop it so because the first, like, I don't know, 6 rows, because that's all that really is. You see, like, the gap in there. Everything to the right of that is junk. Riley Hall, if you're still watching, don't ask for a shout out on my channel, please. We have a Friday night 3D printing community hangout. Don't ask for a shout out there, but you know, if you're in the chat, you're talking with everybody and having a conversation, yeah, we'll sort of shout out to you, and people will take notice to you and subscribe if it's worth it. I know, it kind of does come out like icing at this point. Come on, cancel. They do. Those pointy tips make it look weird. Okay. So we got that. Now we're going to do that. Oh my god. Okay, so while that's getting started, check this out. Where are you guys at? Look how thick that layer width, or extrusion width is on there. The perimeter is 1 parameter. That is freaking huge. But it's solid. I mean, that is solid. Alright, let's go back and see what it's doing. Funny thing about it is, it's printing slower than it was, but this is still only a 4-hour print the way I have it set up right now. Roughly 4 hours, so it's probably like 5 hours. Yeah. I show him. Ashley, are you talking about me giggling? I just I think it's funny. I mean, the extrusion widths on there are as wide as the filament feeding into the printer. And it's handling it. That's the best part about it. Look at that. I can't... Oh, there, I broke it. That's taking some effort to do it. I just think it's funny, Ashley, and yes, I'm partially also sleep deprived at the moment. So, I think I'm going to miss the half-hour first layer. So out of everybody in the chat, the only one coming to Earth is Shom. Okay, Ashley wants a cheetah. Oh, you guys are funny. I think it's going to be pretty fun this weekend down there. Lots of people, lots of friends. Yeah, I guess pretty much everybody who's going to be at Earth tomorrow or Saturday is probably, if they're going to be there tomorrow, I'm sure they're probably all in bed at this point. Fortunately, like I said, I don't have that far of a drive, so I don't have to worry too much about it. But I can tell you, I'm going to check this one more time, and I'm probably going to end the stream there. Then go to bed. So I'm either going to wake up to a wasted spool of filament. But then again, if it comes out as spaghetti, it's coming out 1.77, so that's plus or minus 2, right? Or 0.02. Show 'em. That's what I mean. Oh, I'll do that for Earth, Mike. If it's still extruding 1.75 tomorrow, I'll get it on endless loop. Okay, guys. Well, it's printing, so I'm gonna head to bed. And just so you guys know, that was a full spool. It's down to a half a spool at this point. That's a lot of filament. I didn't look to see what Simplify 3D is estimating. 1.88 pounds. So it's estimating that it's going to be a full kilogram, pretty much. All but a full spool at 300 and, what did I say, 90 couple millimeters tall. So, we'll see. It's cheap. Let's see what it does. I'll post some pictures on Twitter tomorrow. For any of you guys who aren't following me on Twitter, it's @CountryCowboy on Twitter, or just search for Matthew Flinchball or search for How I Do It, and you should be able to find me that way. I'll post some pictures. So, thanks Ashley, thanks Sean, thanks Mike. I don't know if anybody else is still in there or not, but thanks guys for sticking it out and watching and chatting along. I'll talk to you all later. Oh, Dustin's still in there too. See you, Dustin.